Hello and welcome to yet another packed edition of Meld. I'm Ritvika Gupta, and on today's episode we'll be speaking to Guneet Singh, Head Marketing and Creative Solutions, Google Asia Pacific. And once again, I'm here with Anant Rangaswamy, editor of Meld. And Anant, you have spoken to Guneet. So what are the key takeaways from the conversation?
We are seeing media spend on digital growing from zero in 2003-04 and coming up to 20%, 30%, 40% of ADEX. And that makes it a great reason to talk to people from Google, from Facebook, and so on. Now, Guneet in particular is interesting because he doesn't talk about the media, shall we say, effectiveness or ROI side of it, but he talks about the creative ROI. So fundamentally, you learn to navigate things like why the average 30-second spot, if you just pick it up and put it onto digital, it doesn't work. Right. So you've got different screens from the large screen, and you've got the baby screen, you've got the mobile phone, and you have to understand one is things that work on television don't work on a small screen, necessarily. The second thing is you can do things on digital which you cannot do on television. You just cannot. For example, you can go from, shall we say, building a brand to telling a story to actually getting somebody to make a purchase. That you can't do on TV. TV, you can build a brand and then you send out a message, but you really can't do that. Now these are complex. Similarly, you can target people by geography. You can know precisely where they are and therefore send different messages to different people at different points of time. You can also try and figure out what they are doing at a particular time and therefore send particular messages to them. Now these are fantastic learnings for marketers, and therefore I thought it's worth my while to talk to Guneet about them.
Great. So here's the conversation. Let's get ready to melt with Guneet Singh. So that was a conversation with Guneet Singh. Anant, why don't you tell us what can marketers learn from this conversation?
I think there are multiple things they could learn from this conversation. It's not just one. Like I said at the top of the program, I think what I would hope that marketers learned, which is what I learned at the end of during the conversation, was the days are gone when you could just take what you made for TV and slap it on to digital. I think the simple lessons are this, that don't repurpose creatives for something else. Digital is a whole new ball game, and the most important thing is that consumers are in a completely different ambience and frame of mind when they're consuming digital as opposed to when they're consuming print or consuming TV.
Well, on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Meld. Next week, we'll be bringing you the highlights from WPP Data Day. So I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Goodbye.